I got to show you this other clip that came to us today. So Nancy Pelosi, she's trying to walk a line, right? Like she's kind of stuck because she's sort of part of the party of the Clintonian Democrats, and yet simultaneously she's trying to rally the troops. And so she's got to, and she had to, when she was Speaker of the House, keep her party contained and happy and satiated. And you have people like AOC who are clearly never satiated, and Bernie Sanders, etc. So she's trying to balance the challenge of all the sort of bloodthirsty vultures on the left, the extremists, if you would, with those middle of the road people, which maybe she considers herself to be. And it's a tough spot to be in right now because the extremists on the left, they have no use for Israel. And that's kind of a problem given where we are right now. And if you're the rest of the world, why wouldn't you exploit this? So I kind of hear and get what she's saying, but I wanted to show you because can you imagine if this were anyone else, if this were anybody on the right, you would be everywhere. But this one, you probably haven't even seen it. Like this is nowhere. People aren't reporting on this. Nancy Pelosi, she was heckled by these protesters. They were outside her home. And so she went outside and she kind of told them off. Let's watch the clip.
Most of your constituents want stop the genocide, stop the Holocaust.
The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want the ceasefire. The Democrats want
the to China, where your headquarters are. Go back to China, where your headquarters are. In other words, she's like, I know who's funding you all. Remember she said the other day she wanted the FBI to look at that? Well, it's a little tricky. It's a little dicey, right? Because our FBI is kind of breathing down our throats all the time. That's Big Brother on steroids. And so a lot of conservatives are like, well, okay, you got to be careful with Nancy Pelosi and giving her a little too much FBI power. And so is she going to try and use the FBI to go after the protesters outside her house? This is her theme, right? She's saying that it's China that's doing this. And by the way, I don't entirely think she could be off, right? I mean, if I were China and I were trying to breed this discontent, what would I do? Oh, I'd start TikTok and I'd encourage this insanity of division nonstop. And so that's likely what they have done. And maybe they are funding these people. I don't know. But again, I point to the inconsistency in the coverage that you see from our media elites. Because if this were anyone else, Marjorie Taylor Greene or anybody on the Republican side of things, they'd be all over them saying that that was somehow racist against Asia, racist against Asians, and that you can't just say, hey, go back to China where your headquarters are. So an interesting dynamic, if you would, for where we are right now and how divided we are, including the Democrat Party. For sure. I mean, it's not just Republicans, right?